They're off and racing. They've got 2.5 miles ahead of them. This is the Betfred Supports Jack Berry House Novices Handicap Chase, going towards the first of 3 fences on the far side first time round, and heading towards this first fence. Southport amongst the leaders with Daydream Island as they cross the first fence, which they've all taken safely, and they head on towards number 2. King Golan's come through under Alison Clark now to take up the running. Leads by 2 lengths from Southport in second and Daydream Island third. Flamingo Lane in the red, yellow and white is next from Samson as they cross the next fence over on the far side. There was a slow and awkward leap at the back of the field from Viva Rafa, who shares last place at this stage with Rock and Stones. One more to take over on the far side this time round, and setting a good gallop it is King Golan, who leads by the best part of 5 lengths from Southport in second. Daydream Island, the yellow and blue, is sharing third with the nose-banded Flamingo Lane. Cheek Pieces, the green, black and white of Samson next, and then the wide racing Premier King with the red cap. Next, the cerise jacket of Breinstein. Mistake at the back of the field again from Rock and Stones as King Golan leads them out of the back. King Golan from Southport with Flamingo Lane disputing third with Premier King. Samson is next, then Daydream Island, Super Luna, Breinstein. Nemean Lion held up towards the rear with Alexander the Grey. Viva Rafa and Rock and Stones the last 2. They'll bypass the first fence in the straight, so the next they'll jump, number 4, will be the open ditch for the first time. King Golan with this clear advantage as they bypass this plain fence, the first in the straight, and head on towards the ditch. 4 lengths ahead of Southport, and then towards the wide left is Premier King. The white-faced runner with the cheek pieces is Samson. Then towards the far side of the group races Flamingo Lane as they take the open ditch, and Premier King took a real chance with that, and not for the first time. Viva Rafa and Rock and Stones were anything but fluent at the back of the field. 2 more to take before they pass the stands and head out on another circuit, and it is still King Golan bowling along with the lead. Shows by 3 lengths as they come to take the next from Samson, who's disputing second with Southport. On the right, Flamingo Lane. On the left is Premier King. Just in behind them is Daydream Island. Then Nemean Lion in the white and blue with the spots on the sleeves as they jump the fence in front of the stands. Samson got in a little close there. The back markers are still Rock and Stones and Viva Rafa, and they're a good 15 lengths behind the pace-setting King Golan. King Golan with a circuit to go by 3 from Southport, Premier King, and then Flamingo Lane and Samson. Daydream Island is next from Breinstein, who's on the outside of Nemean Lion. Super Luna urged along. Then Alexander the Grey, who's always been in the rear division. A length back to Viva Rafa, and the back marker is Rock and Stones. Going down the far side of the track and heading on towards fence number 7 with King Golan showing 2 or 3 lengths to the good as they approach the first in the back, and he's over it safely. And they've all cleared it safely. Rock and Stones was the last to jump it as they go on towards their next, and this one will be fence number 8. King Golan by 3. Southport's in second place. A length to Samson. Then out wide races Premier King, going the shortest way Flamingo Lane. Next in the cerise is Breinstein. Alexander the Grey has moved into mid-division. Nemean Lion is urged along. Next in the field, Daydream Island, who's losing ground. They have 2 more to take on the far side, and then 3 when they swing in. And still they haven't got to King Golan. King Golan with a 3-length advantage as they take this one. Then this chasing group of 4, headed now by Premier King, who's moving up to dispute second place with Southport, Samson, Flamingo Lane, and then Breinstein. Alexander the Grey continues to make steady progress, the Grey with the white cap. And then there's a break back to Nemean Lion, and then comes Viva Rafa, who's taken time to recover from early mistakes. Going into the wings of the last on the far side, 4 from home, and the leader's advantage much reduced. King Golan barely by a length at that one from Southport, Premier King, and Samson. Completing that leading sextet, we have Alexander the Grey, Flamingo Lane, and the improving Breinstein in the pink. So they leave the back straight and they head now towards the final 3 fences. Nemean Lion is next in the field, and then further back Viva Rafa and Super Luna. But it's King Golan clinging on to a narrow lead, but despite an error, Premier King is looking a threat now towards the near side. Pushed along the far side is Southport. Then a couple of lengths back to Samson. Alexander the Grey is now urged along. Then 4 lengths to Breinstein. Flamingo Lane has run his race and looks as if Nemean Lion is going to be pulled up. So going now towards the third from home, and this is where Harry Skelton sends Premier King into the lead. Goes on by a couple of lengths and jumps it safely. From in second place King Golan. Southport was third, and then came Samson in 4th. Next in the field Alexander the Grey, and then Breinstein. But 2 more fences to take, and it's Premier King who's been sent clear. Premier King at the second last comes to take it and takes it safely. Still only about 4 or 5 lengths ahead ahead of King Golan, who's sticking on in second place. Southport next, and Samson trying to rally, heading towards the final fence. And Premier King kept up to his work, approaching the last. 6 lengths in front at the last. Premier King steadied into it, went through the top of it, leads by 5 from Samson, who's staying on in second place. King Golan in third. Premier King having to be driven out here, but he's responding well to pressure, and he's going to win first time up for the informed Dan Skelton. Harry Skelton on board, beats Samson into second, King Golan third, and back in fourth, Southport.
The result of the third race is 6-5-10-1. The full result of the Betfred Supports Jack Berry House Novices Handicap Steeplechase. First, number 6, Premier King. Second, number 5, Samson. Third, number 10, King Golan. And the fourth placed horse, number 1, Southport. The distances were 4 lengths and 7 lengths, 4 lengths and 7 lengths.